Well, suddenly it's quite a week for Star Wars. And none of it particularly good. And I'll explain. Of course, we've had the excerpts from Bob Iger's forthcoming book. Or is it already out? I don't know. Don't care. Got the juicy tidbits already. And in which it seemed pretty obvious that, yes, he lied to and betrayed George Lucas, and probably more than him. The closest ones to you, when they betray you, it's far more serious than someone you just sort of knew. And well, yeah. Poor George, huh? Yeah, people remind that George wasn't always on the up and up himself here and there, but come on. This was a rotten thing to do, and to act like, well, apparently he feels he was misled, I guess. He was. He's like, yeah, he hands over those treatments for what the story should be about, and you throw them all in the trash. That's all right. So that was what we pretty much, it wasn't really breaking news. You'd heard tidbits of this and that, but to just have Iger, which I actually am impressed with somewhat of the candor there. It's still, he's, trying to squirrely around it as if he didn't, deceive the man, but he did, and then they just dumped the movie on him. Look, George. and oh boy. So, but of course, because of him, Kathleen Kennedy found herself in this really glorious position as the head of all things Star Wars in Lucasfilm. And this is how she treats him, and boy, what goes around comes around, doesn't it? And this had been thought about and even suggested pretty early on, that the mastermind, not really, but for the most part, he's considered, the leader, and he pretty much is, of the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And boy, well, what an incredible 10-year ride it's had. And so that, wow, they should give him Star Wars. And so the announcement that he is developing a Star Wars film. Now, what does that entail? Well, we don't know. It's just this announcement that, yes, he is working on one. Is it a trilogy or is it just a standalone film? We don't know. And but boy, well, what about Rian Johnson's? What happened? Oh, yeah. And then, boy, after the Game of Thrones guys really pooped the bed with Game of Thrones, it sometimes I hear mentioned that it's only a movie. It's supposed to be a trilogy, and who knows. So Kevin Feige has to fly in and save Star Wars, and of course his representative, he will be working with Kathleen Kennedy. Yeah, no, he won't. He's too big, and his star has risen where hers just exploded and smashed into a black hole. And so I don't think there had been rumors that, she was going to be fired and all that. I don't think so. And the way Iger describes things, I don't think he had any intention of doing so. And besides, they're really deep. It's not just a marketing thing where you can shield your lazy work with PC attributes and whatnot and say, well, you hate the movie because the star's a woman or the hero's black or something of that nature, as to shield any criticism whatsoever of your product. And that's often used. It's, you can go, certainly with Ghostbusters and on, and it's constantly reinforced. But at the same time, you've got plenty of people involved who really are deep in the cult of believing what appears to be that the way you fight sexism and racism is by being sexist towards men and racist towards white people. And this is very stupid, but there it is. And so this is, some are doing it for the cheap means by which to manipulate it, and others, I think, believe this stuff. So I don't think Kathleen would ever really get the boot, but it would certainly be prettied over that she's had a good run and she's retiring, or she's continuing on, but it's only a figurehead position. The real power will be Feige. And but then here's the problem. Can Feige save Star Wars? I don't think so. Yeah, there's all the problems and worries about where he's saying the MCU will be going. They're going woke, and that'll drive away the fan base, and it'll collapse and burn. And certainly that could happen. But let's say he has a pretty cool idea for a Star Wars film, and it's really great and it's spectacular. The damage is done. That's not going to fix The Last Jedi. What happened to Luke Skywalker in that movie? It's awful. And other movies going forward, it's just taking the oxygen out of the room, the excitement for it. And I don't know, and it's like, oh, maybe they should just declare those movies aren't canon anymore, and they go back to the drawing board. But it's too late. Sadly enough, Carrie Fisher has passed on, and time's up on that. You had this moment and you trashed it. You threw it away. You were lazy. And then you decided, like I said, you blame fans and call them all kind of nasty names, all this stuff just to cover up your sloppiness. And you can't go back. At some point recast it and get the actual story. But what would be the point? The whole sordid affair is just terrible. So, yeah, Feige could produce a fine film or even a trilogy that's all full of excitement and adventure. And given time, I'm sure that's what they're thinking. Let's let the fans heal. And this would be some other era of Star Wars, either the past or the distant future, something like that. And some new menace or what have you. And all that's well and good, but they had this golden moment, lightning in a bottle moment, and they didn't even try. So, and it's the same with J.J. Abrams trying to fix things with The Rise of Skywalker and wrap it up, even if that turns out to be an okay film. A good little adventure. It's like one little rat turd falls in the soup, the whole bowl's ruined. I apologize for the crudeness, but I don't know how else to put it. And that's the problem that they have here, and it did not need to be that way. Absolutely rejecting George's treatments was wrong. You can adapt. You can work on that. You say, well, his ideas here are going a little crazy, but this here, and then the basic plot and narrative of who the characters are and all that. Yeah, they should have done that. Even referring to the Thrawn novels and stuff like that. Those could have been adapted as if they had happened or something along those lines. The ages of the actors, of course, don't fit with the ages of the characters at the time. It's supposed to only be 5 years after Jedi and that sort of thing. But those events and stuff, it would certainly give more of a motive to Luke Skywalker, being depressed and kind of wanting to get away from it all, and that sort of thing, because of the death of his wife. Who mourns for Mara Jade? Well, certainly not Disney. They act like they don't even know who she was, and so any number of things that they could have dealt with, and while at the same time developing new characters to carry on the flame. It's perfectly understandable. But when you spoil the pot like that, the poor new characters never had a shot. And anyway, they just weren't writing anything good for them. I mean, look what they did. The more interesting of the character in The Force Awakens was Finn, and look what they did to him in Last Jedi. Poor Rey, supposed to be the hero of the whole thing, has yet to get a story. Maybe she'll get one in the third film, but yeah. So, God, I'm just rehashing everything. So, good luck, Feige, but he's got a big thing on his plate with MCU as well, so I don't know. But I no, he can't save it. Sorry, it's too late. All right, thank you for watching and listening. Sorry for being a downer, but, well, I don't see any hope here. But thank you for watching and listening. Please like and subscribe, and check out that link description below. That'll take you to my many stores that have plenty of goodies for you.